Encountered. I'm Joe. It is time for part 2 of our playthrough of Antietam, September 17th, 1862. This is from Worthington Games. And we did a kind of a first look and setup video for this game. And we did also a part 1 of the gameplay. So what you're looking at right now is kind of the game status, or I shouldn't say kind of, it is the game status as it stands between the first player turn, which was the Union, and the Confederate player turn in turn number 2. So we're kind of in the middle. I keep saying kind of, but we are exactly in the middle of turn 2, and it is the Confederate turn. So I won't go overly much into, the rules and so on, unless we come up against something that maybe I didn't show in the first part or talk about in either, anything from this video, this video series on Antietam, or the one I did previously, which was on Shiloh. Antietam is the first game in this series. The Shiloh would be the second game, and there are 5 total, and those are the 7 days battles, and Gettysburg and Franklin. So let us pick things up here. So it is the Confederate turn, and at the start of each turn, the first thing you do is the command phase. And so basically, I just said I wasn't going to talk about the rules. Anybody within 4 hexes of their commanding unit is in command if they're infantry or cavalry. It's a little different for artillery. We have 1 unit that's out of command. It's right here at the bottom. There's a cavalry unit attached to Jeb Stuart. Jeb Stuart is kind of right here. He's a little bit off shot right now because I haven't zoomed in. But Stuart has himself and a couple of units right here, right below this wooded area here. 2 hexes to the west, because north is this way. Okay, so following the command phase, we go to the organization phase, which we skip in this game. And that's because none of the activities that are typically conducted during the organization phase actually take place in the Antietam game. The same was true in Shiloh, I think, if I remember correctly, at least at the beginning. But we'll see, they'll probably turn up in future volumes. They do have rules for them. So then we would move on to the offensive artillery phase. So we do have some artillery, and I'm going to slide the map up a little bit just so we can see Jeb Stuart here, down here. He's got a cannon here. So we'll start here, and we'll have this cannon attack Hoffman, who's within range. And first, we have modifiers for range. So the only units that can actually fire at anything further than a hex away are artillery. And in this case, Hoffman here is 1, 2, 3 away from Pelham. And so that falls into, here we have a fire range chart. You can see unlimbered artillery. It says X1 here, but it does say artillery fires at infantry and dismounted cavalry at half strength point when more than 1 hex. So his strength is 4. It really won't matter because we're going to stay in this column anyway. But in general, if he was, say, an 8, he would get half to a 4, and that would actually knock him down by 1 column. We do have our die here. So the game uses a D10. There are 2. As you can see, and I'm just going to roll this guy, and we got a 6. And now if we look at our combat results chart with a 6, that results in a morale check. Now there are 3 levels of morale, and black is the middle one, which is, I guess you could say, is probably average or normal, as opposed to being green, which is the green, literally green. So you can see, do we have any green? Yeah, there's a green up here. So that's a green, and then there's gold, which is the highest, and we have that here and here and here, and spread around throughout both armies. So the way the morale check works, we have a morale chart. Black, you need a 7 or less to pass the test. And here I am going over rules that I said I wasn't going to do, and he passes. So basically no harm there. We take a fired marker and we place it on the fired unit. All right. Now, we do have other artillery that can fire, of course. There is one. Now, this one is flipped over. That means he's limbered from movement, so he cannot fire. Now, if we look further around, here's J.R. Jones. He's out of range of all the Union forces. We have Longstreet's Reserve 2 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. He could fire at Sedgwick and Howard, so now we may as well. And now you see his strength. Well, maybe you can't see because it's zoomed out. Is an 8. So we'll zoom in a little bit, and you see the hexes here. It's distance of 4. So that's going to be halved. So he's going to be rolling 4, which is the same column we just used. That's the 1 to 4 column. So we roll again, and we got a 5. Now a 5, unfortunately, is nothing. So he would also get a fired marker. And we'll put it on here. And I think what we will do is we will hold off on further artillery attacks. Well, I guess, I mean, we could use these guys. I might use these guys in tandem later on. You can see them there. So let's just move on to the movement phase. Now, for the movement phase, my plan is to actually do all the movement off camera. So I'm going to pause, move, and then I'll come back and I'll just kind of show where units moved. Generally speaking, if you're looking at this right now, I'll come back to the same shot. You'll see the Confederates that have moved. There may not be a ton of movement because my strategy for the Confederate side is to play defense a little bit, and kind of see what the Union is up to. I did try a different strategy with pushing units to the west across the Antietam Creek here, for which the battle was named. On the Union side, it was named Sharpsburg by the Confederates, which is the town right here. So, and there's Lee right there as the overall Army commander, while McClellan is up right there. Okay, so I'm going to pause now, do my movement. We'll come back and pick it up from there. So I'm back a little early. I'm not done yet, but we moved Lawton's division here up against this unit from Meade's division, part of Hooker's First Corps. And so we've got some nice, I mean, he's an 8 now because he took a little bit of damage in a previous, in the Union part of turn 2. So we got 8 and 9 is 17, and then underneath Lawton, who's the commander, we've got a 14 there. I also unlimbered, I moved my cannon here while it was limbered and then unlimbered it. And now we can attack we can add him to the attack there against Seymour with decent firepower. Okay. But what I wanted to show and why I came back early is these are the reinforcements for turn 2. We've got Hampton, who's part of Stewart's cavalry. And then we've got R.H. Anderson's division here as well. And they will be coming in to the south here. So I just wanted to let you guys know that before I move them in, because you'll see them in this area, most likely. I may not push them to the east. I might bring them in here towards Sharpsburg so that they can kind of move in whichever direction I need them to move. Okay, so here's a look at what kind of transpired during that movement. We solidified over here with McLaws, and Walker didn't really move. Toombs is locked with Rodman here. And we moved the reinforcements in. They're all right here, except for Hampton. He's over here now with Lee. Lee was with one of the Longstreet Reserve artillery. I moved that up. We didn't really change much here because we have the Union coming, and we have the sunken road right here. We did move D.H. Hill, the commander, along with Colquitt, up. Here's Jackson. We moved Hood, and this is Hood's artillery. It's currently limbered because it's heading towards Hood. Hood is going to kind of be in charge of defending this gap in the line because I pushed the guys who were in this area this way to threaten this part of Hooker's men right here. So that's the overall situation as we stand right now, and now we will move on to combat, which starts with defensive fire. So the first thing we're going to do with our defensive fire is we'll do a fire here, right? So we have Harland, who's a 17, and he'll be attacking Tombs. Now, we do have here a steep slope, I think is what it's called, if we look at our terrain effects chart. Yeah, steep hex side, right? So -3 to fire die roll and a -1 morale die roll. Okay, so this isn't a great chance, but in the 17 to 20 column, you know, if he rolls high enough, it'll still do something. At least make him make a morale check. So here, it's a 7. That's a pretty good roll. And a 7 is a 1. But we have to take 3 away. It's still a 1 at 4. So that is a step loss. So he will become a 7. And that will also give the Union another casualty point. They're up to 4 now. So that's the first attack. Now we have artillery as well. You have Rodman up here. Rodman's artillery, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could attack him or Manning, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll attack Manning with Rodman. Now, because of the range, it's 5. That's the furthest you can fire with an artillery. And we get, let's see, that is a 6. It's going to get halved, so it would be a 3. So at 3, we're in the 1 to 4 column, so he has to roll high. And he rolled a 3, so that would be no effect. No effect there. Now we will reset and see other places where we can use our. Let's see here. I could have doubled that and used Wilcox as well because Burnside is sitting there. But that's fine. That's fine. So we're gonna actually. I don't even need to reset. We're going to attack with this artillery and this artillery because I believe they're both in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got an 8 and a 6 is a 14. We have it to 7. And that is in the second column, the 5 to 8 column. So again, you're going to need a high roll. And we got another 3. And a 3 in that column is nothing. All right, so that will do it for that. And let's see, we move on to, I'm looking for other things we may want to do here in terms of artillery. And because I don't think we have any, well, we do have another set of units that are adjacent, so we can do something there as well, and maybe that's what we'll do. So I'm going to shift the shot here. All right, so here you see Seymour, right? We set up this attack on Seymour. Now, what he will do, he's a 12. Let's have him attack Douglas, who's a 14, because Douglas also has Lawton with him, and we may be able to, we did have to do a leader casualty as well. So we're in the 12 column. They are in cornfield. And in terms of, there's no, see, that's the cornfield. There's no defensive benefit for being there. So that means we stay in this 9 to 12 column. Anything 4 or up will be good. Obviously, higher is always better. So we're going to roll. And we got a 6. I think you can tell that's a 6. Yep. All right, a 6 in that column is a 1-step loss. Okay, and then you also have to check right here. It says check for leader. Oh, only on a 10. Only on a 10. So that does not apply here. Okay. So this becomes a 13 for Douglas. All right. Now looking at other things we can do. Meade is here. He's got cannon with him. So we'll have him attack Walker. Why not? See if we can reduce that one as well. So this is a 6. And I think, oh, this should go away because that's now, or actually, No, I don't think that does go away yet. All right, that's quite the stack there because we've got the 2 leaders there. All right, so we're going to have this guy, and because Hooker's here, we can also use, I believe, Ricketts' cannon right there to fire. So that would be a 10. We have it to 5 because of the range being greater than 1. So that gets us to the second column, which gives you a little bit better chance of doing some damage. And we roll that favorite roll of a 3, which is nothing. All right, so that, I think, is all I can really do with defensive fire. Looking around, I think that is probably going to be sufficient for now. So now we'll move to offensive fire. And since we're already here, we'll start with this attack on Seymour. So we have 9, 18, and 13 is 31. He is not in favorable defensive position. He's just in a regular clear hex, so he gets no benefit from that. So a 31 is in this column right here. So this is a pretty devastating, potentially devastating attack. We're going to roll. Whoops. We're going to drop the die, and we're going to roll, and we got a 5. 5 in this column. Here's 5. Go across. Next to last column, 2 step loss. We also have to do a morale check, which I forgot to do for the other one. See, I tend to forget things. But he's going to take 2 step losses, which will reduce him to a 10, and then we'll do the morale check. Okay, so he becomes a 10. Now he's got black morale, which is mid-range, so that's a 7 or less. We roll, and he got a 10, so he actually fails, which means he is going to rout. So he has to retreat 3 hexes away from the enemy. So he could go 1, 2, or maybe he would go, he was here, so he could go 1, 2, trying to remember if they, let me put him there for a second. Okay, so quick review. He's supposed to route towards a reinforcement hex, which would be that way, or towards his army leader, or corps leader. The army leader is that way, McClellan. Hooker's right here, who is his corps leader. So he could retreat. He was here. He could go 1, 2, 3, and then he has to continue because he can't stop he can't overstack the hex. So he'll go right there. And he gets a routed marker as well. Okay, so that was a successful attack. Now, looking around at other potential attacks, I see a couple more that we need to do that are kind of like they're adjacent. So we may as well do it, I guess, is how I would put it. So let me reset my shot here, and then we'll take care of that stuff as well. Okay, so here we'll do an artillery. Oh, actually, we can't because this is not the artillery phase. I was going to say we can attack up here, but we can't. So what we're going to do is move over here a little bit more and attack here. Or, yeah, here. So we've got a 7, and he'll be attacking a 17. And again, if he rolls a 10, we would have to do a casualty check on Rodman. So again, they're in basically open terrain. So a 7 is the second column on the chart, and we rolled a 3. Now, oh, I did mess up one thing here. Down here, you see if it's fired on from 3 or more adjacent hexes. That previous combat where Seymour was routed, I don't think that would have changed the result, but that is something I did miss, so I do want to point that out. All right, so a 7 and a 3 in the second column is nothing, so there's nothing there. And that ends the combat phase for the Confederates. They do not have any other adjacent units to Union forces, and artillery has to fire in the artillery phase if it's firing by itself. So that ends their turn. We move on to turn number 3, which is the 0800. Actually, before we move on, we have a routed unit here. So rally phase, And we also remove all fired markers as well. So I'm going to do that. And we'll roll for, where is that other one? It's right here. I think that's it. It's the only other ones I see. All right, so the other thing we need to do is attempt to rally this unit. It has black morale, so it has to roll a 7 or less to successfully rally. And it rolled a 5. So he is no longer routed. Ripley. Believe it or not, he's no longer routed. Okay, bad joke. Let's move to the Union command phase. So I believe, checking all of the units, I've tried to keep kind of integrity together as much as possible. Richardson is here, so we do have some that are kind of, well, actually, let me see. His units, he's under Sumner. Does he only have, oh, he's got a unit here and here. The gray at the top confuses me between D.H. Hill and Richardson because they have the same at the top. I should try to flip these, flip these two. Where was he? Is he here? Great, now I don't remember where he was. Because if he was here, I forgot to attack him with Anderson, which he would have done. But I don't remember if he was there or not. But he may have been. I'm going to put him there because I literally don't remember, even though it was like 5 seconds ago. Anyway, what I was saying was I should flip these two so that French is here because the contrast, like the blue and the gray background, are more easily discernible, but I still mix it up sometimes. So Richardson's guys are here, these 3 stacks. Then we've got French, and so you also have to determine who we're activating. Like I probably will want to activate Sumner because Sumner has units here, here, and here. And aside from that, probably Hooker over here. And at some point, I'm going to need to activate Mansfield and start bringing these guys in as well. The limitations on number of core activations really is a hamstring. It really hamstrings the Union side. So we'll start with Sumner, and we will. That's who I'm going to activate, but we can do offensive artillery before we start moving. So I think what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to activate, instead of activating, and this doesn't apply at the moment because I still haven't done my offensive artillery, but we're going to activate Mansfield and Sumner because I want to bring, Mansfield's got some strong units. They're green, which isn't great, but they are relatively strong here compared to down here. We've got some somewhat weak units. I don't know. Now I'm talking myself out of it, and we should maybe activate. We're going to activate Doubleday. Not Doubleday, Hooker. We're going to do a multiple artillery unit attack from Hooker on Douglas here. So we have, a 6 and a 4 and a 12. Big guns of Doubleday there. So that adds up to 22. And as you can see, like if we excluded the 4, it would put us in this column, but by going up one more, we get a result on anything there. Okay, we do get, we do get reduced, I guess. We're at more than 1 hex, so we're going to get actually an 11. Yeah, an 11. So that reduces the odds somewhat, but we're still going to do it. And he is in open terrain, so we don't have to worry about like he's in forest, so that would have a benefit. We got a 9 beneficial effect. And a 9 here is 1. Now, if we had just gotten a 10, it would have been 2, but it also would have been a casualty check for Lawton. So instead, he gets 1, knocks him down to a 12, and he has to take a morale check. And he's a black morale, so that's 7. And he got a 6, so he's good. All right, now we have to put fired markers on all these guys. 3 of them. And fired. Next, we have 2 artillery units here, one with Sumner with a strength of 6, and one under McClellan, also 6. They will attack Caldwell. I could also use Porters over here, but I'm going to save those to use them on probably this unit right here. So we're going to hit Caldwell with 6. It's 12, but it gets halved to 6 because the range is 5. So that is the second column. And they are on elevated terrain, but that does not matter because it's still clear. And a 2, so that's nothing. So we do have to mark them as fired, of course. So I will do that. Okay, and now we'll do these 2, which would be a total of 14, halved to 7. We'll attack the Meager here with Richardson. And that is a 7, as I mentioned, which is still the second column. It's a 6, and a 6 in that column is a morale check. So their morale is gold, so that's top notch. So they need anything, only a 10 will cause a morale problem, and it's a 4. All right, so we need more fired markers here. And okay. Now, well, we have a couple more over here, so I should probably use them as well. All right, so we have Wilcox here, which is a 6. Then we have Scammon is a 4. If we use both of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they can both hit Tombs, so we will do that. That is a total of, what was it, 6 and 4, so that's a 5. So that is again second column. Tombs does not. I don't think he gets. He doesn't get a terrain benefit, but because he's on a ridge, he's above this unit, so we can still fire at him, I believe is how that works. So we're going to roll here. And we got a 7, which is a decent roll, because that results in a 1 step loss. So he will become a 6. We'll just rotate this, and now he will have to take a morale check, but he's also an elite unit with a morale that is gold. So again, unless this is a 10, he's going to be good, and it's an 8. So no good. All right, so now we'll go on to movement. Now, I would love to activate Burnside to move these units. God, it's such a tough choice. You're so limited here. Sumner is a definite. Sumner is definitely getting activated because I want to do something over here. So, you know what? The heck with it. I'm doing Sumner and Burnside again, only because I want to move these guys out and have them come in down here on the other side of the creek, which will help with this issue here at Burnside's bridge. So let's do that. So we're going to start movement, and I'm going to start right here. Okay, so we've got these guys right here. They're going to move off map. Now the rules for that are covered in the playbook right here. Okay. And so then we roll a die to determine when they re-enter the board using the following chart. So here's the chart up here. So we want to roll low, or they're going to be coming back a lot later. All right. So I believe this is 1 roll for each unit. On the turn the units move off board, may exit units off the south end of the game board. I think we would do 1 roll for everybody. So we're going to move these guys off, and we're going to move Scammon off as well. So I think they can get there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually column movement, so that they're good. This should be good as well. And then he fired. I forgot to put a fired marker on him. So he'll stay, and so will Scammon, I think. Or maybe he won't. Burnside's right here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's still in range. So the Scammon will go as well. And so now I'm going to roll a die. And we rolled a 4. 4 is 2 turns later. So I'm going to stack all these guys here. So it's Wilcox and Scammon are both going here. And they're going to go 2 turns from now is turn 5. So I'll put them on turn 5. Remember that they are essentially now acting somewhat like reinforcements. All right, so now I didn't put fired markers on any of these. Did I fire all 3 of those? I don't think I did, actually. I think I skipped. I missed Wilcox. Too late now, not going to worry about it. We're going to have Harland here attack Tombs again. Now, again, it's going up slope there, so that's going to be a -3 on the die roll. His strength is a 17. There's no other benefit from the terrain except for that steep hex side. It's a 2. So a 2 is a morale check. So again, he is gold. So unless it's a 10, and it's not, that attack did absolutely nada. Okay, great. I suppose I could have moved Fairchild off as well, but I won't do that now because I already didn't. So let's move over. I'm going to shift the shot here, and we'll do movement. Actually, I'll do, rather than show all the movement, what I'm going to do is I'll move them all off camera. So it's really, we're talking about Sedgwick here and Richardson and French. So these 3 divisions right here are going to move in and start attacking the rebels. And I'll probably move French towards D.R. Jones here, because we also want to get down here, which is off shot, but there's the crossroads down there. And then we'll use Richardson probably to hit this end of the sunken road, and we're going to use Sedgwick to hit the other end of the sunken road. That's the plan. Now you can see the movement, right? So we managed to kind of get a 3 hex here attack for Colquitt. Then we also have a 3 hex attack here on GB Anderson, who is in the last hex of the sunken road. Then over here, French's division is going to attack J.A. Walker. And I also moved some of Burnside's units that were up in this area, just off camera, down to cross the bridge. And they're going to head in this direction, down this side, I think. We'll see how things go, because I may need to throw them in here at the sunken road, although this is really more of the Sedgwick-Richardson side. And then I can probably shift French in this direction and maybe move Sykes this way. And Sturgis is coming on behind Sykes. And so let's do defensive fire, because we're now at the combat phase. So we will start over here. And we got a 4 artillery here. And so they will fire at Meade, this other artillery unit. So it's 4 against, well, it's 6, but they're in a forest hex, and you get a -2 to the die roll. So they won't be able to, so that being the case, I also don't know if they actually have line of sight to that, now that I look at it, because it's up slope and back 1, and they're down here. I don't think they actually do have line of sight, and I haven't been real diligent about checking that, so I may have screwed some stuff up before with the whole line of sight thing, because obviously forests and elevation are things that will affect line of sight. And also, of course, you can't fire over your own unit to an enemy that's adjacent to it. The only time I did do that was all the way over at this end with Toombs, because he's sitting elevated from Rodman's units. So we're going to say that they can't attack here, because I don't think they have line of sight, because they're adjacent to an elevated hex, and Meade's artillery here, as well as McGilton, are back far enough that they would not be adjacent, and therefore are not really visible to that unit, I believe. But we do have some units down here that can attack. We've got some artillery here under Jackson. We've got 18, 28. So they will attack Sumner here. That's, it's relatively short distance. They do have line of sight. I don't think Cornfield affects the line of sight. It does not. So we have, what did I say, 28, right? 10, 8, and 10 is 28. I think that's all we've got right now. I should have moved this guy, and I forgot to. Oh, wait, I did move him last turn. That's right. So, yeah, we're going to hit that, and it's going to get half to 14, but that's still the 13 to 16 column, which is fairly decent. So let's roll on this here. And we got a 6. Actually, no, hang on. We can have Colquitt attack them as well. So that'll be 28 plus 19 is 47, which you have. Half the 28 is 14 plus 19 is 33. So they're actually in this over here. And did I already roll? And I forgot. I don't think I did. So let's roll. And it's a 7, which is a good roll. So 7 in that last column is 3 steps and a retreat. So that's going to be pretty good for them. They are going to, this guy is going to get knocked down to a 14, but he also has to retreat 2. And so he's going to retreat 1, 2, because that is towards, and of course he does have to take a morale check, but because Sumner is with him, he gets a -1 on his die roll. He's green, which is not good because that's a 5. And he rolled an 8, so even the -1 isn't going to help, and he's going to have to route. So he has to route towards the eastern map edge, 1, 2, 3, and get marked as routed. So, all right. And since Sedgwick is with him and he's still within command range of the other, so that was well worthwhile on the defensive fire side because it fixed up this, it took away one of the units from the 3 that were going to attack there. That's excellent for the Confederates there. We have another one here, right? So he's a 12, and you've got a gold here under Richardson. So we're going to not attack that one. We would attack Brooke or Caldwell. We've already knocked Caldwell down by 1. So let's try and hit him again. So that's a 12. They are in open terrain. So there's no. Oh wait, I need to move. I need to put a -3 on his strength there. He was a 17. Now he is a 14. There. It's right there. Okay. So he'll attack him, or Caldwell rather. So that's going to be a 12, which is kind of mid-range. It's the 3rd column from the left. And he rolled a 10. Now, Caldwell does not have a leader with him, but a 10 in that column is 2 steps and a morale check. So he's going to actually get knocked down to an 11. And he has to take a morale check. And if he's forced to route, then that means that G.B. Anderson there really helped himself out. So he's a black. That's a 7. So we're going to roll. Whoops. Roll here. And we got a 5. So 5 is good enough. Doesn't retreat. But that removed a couple of strength points there. Now, here we have J.A. Walker. He's got a couple green units here. So it would make most sense for him to attack one of these guys. Let's attack Kimball. Because he's slightly, well, actually, no. What am I talking about? Let's attack Morris because he's a 21. So that's a 14 attacking a 21. So 14 is the 13 to 16 column. It's a 7. That's another good roll. 13 to 16, 7 is 1. So he takes a step loss, and he has to try again not to route. He needs a 5 or less. And he rolled a 1, which is good for him. So he becomes a 20. So we'll put a 20 under him. And the Confederates picked up some decent casualty points there. They are, what did they get? 3, 4, And yeah, they got it's 7-6 in favor of the Union right now. So that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Actually, I think it's 7-7 now that I relook at it there. All right. Anything else? We do have Toombs here, who's only a 6. Let me move the camera. So we'll have Toombs attack Harland, who's a 17. So no bonus here. It's an 8, another good roll. And in that second column, an 8 is 1 step. And of course, we do have to take a morale check. And he is also green, but he does have his commander with him. So we get a -1. So let's check the morale. It's a 3, so he passes. And he goes from a 17 to a 16. And that is another casualty point for the Rebs. All right. And I believe that's, well, we could do artillery. I guess this unit could hit him. We could also fire both of these. Well, he's in a low point, so he can't see him because there's a ridge there. But he's on the ridge, so he can attack Fairchild. So let's attack Fairchild. It's only a 2, but so that's in this first column, which means chances aren't great, but it's better to try than not, right? And he gets a 4. So 4 of course, in this case, means no damage. Okay, so that is that. And now let's move to the offensive fire phase. And since we're already over here, we'll start right here with the now 16 firepower, which does make a difference. That is one column to the left further, which benefits the defense. So he's going to attack Toombs, and he's going to be now in the 13 to 16 instead of 17-20. So you see that improves the defender's chances. We rolled an 8. That's a good roll, as we know, on the attack. Higher is better. 8 is 1. So he loses another step, and of course he will have to take a morale. Oh, wait, I forgot about the -3. So that 8 becomes a 5, and a 5 is still 1. So he still loses a step, and he still has to take that morale check. But unless he rolls a 10, it's all good. And he rolled a 6. All right. So that, I think, is all we are doing on this side. Now we'll move over here. And we've got 18, 39, 18, 38, 55 attacking that 14. So 55, of course, is beyond the 33 there. So we're in the far right column. And we rolled a 4. And a 4 in that column is a 2-step loss, but no retreat. However, he does have to take... yeah, he does have to take a morale check. So he's a black. All right, so 2 steps and a morale check. Rolled a 7, which is what he needed. 1 more higher, and he would have been routed. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Now we'll move over here. We've got 11, sorry. Plus 15 is 26. We got 40, so again, that's in the farmost right one. And we attacked, and we rolled a 1, which is still a step loss and a morale check. He's also a black, so he needs a 7 or less. Got a 1 again, so that is good. And he will be reduced from a 12 to... oh, wait. Technically, he gets a -3 because he's in the sunken road. But there's no result below 1, so I think that means it's still a step loss. I think. So yeah, he's now an 11. And we put that right here. And he passed his morale check, so he's good to go in that situation. And the Union now has 11 casualty points. Okay, so now we'll move over here. And what was going to be a fairly... oh, I forgot the adjustments. 3 3 adjacent gives you a plus bonus of 1. So it didn't really matter, I don't think, for for any of these, this one or this one. This one we lost it because they knocked that guy back with a devastating attack. So we have 18, 20 is 38, which is still that rightmost column, but we don't get the die roll modifier. We got a 6 in that rightmost column, because they don't have any. Yeah, they don't have any terrain bonus there. So a 6 there is going to be a 2-step loss and a retreat. So that's good. 2-step loss, so that 19 will become a 17. So he's now 17, and he has to retreat. And so he has to retreat towards his reinforcement or his leader. DH Hill is right there. So he can go 1, 2, and be adjacent to his leader and be fine. Now we'll check for the route. He's black, so again, 7 or less. And he got a 7, but he is with his leader. So he's retreating toward, that is his leader. So I guess he's still retreating toward their reinforcement. But that 7 was good enough anyway, and he did get a -1 as well because Hill is with him. So that is the end of that one, and I think that is all of the attacking. We can move somebody up, so we will move Dana into that spot, I think. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to leave Dana here? Let's move Gorman here, because now they can't get, like, they could get 3, but it would require a little. They could still do it, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. So we're going to do that and just leave it that way. I also am a little iffy about this right here. This is locked in, but he could move up there. He's locked in. So it'll be difficult for them to get up there, but they theoretically could, I think. Maybe not, because he's not locked in. But if he moves, you have to move down the road and come around the back way, and I don't think he's going to get there with 6 movement points. Because Limbert artillery, yeah. So that's going to do it, I think, for the movement phase. So we would then move on to, or the combat phase rather, and we will now move on to the rally phase. Sorry. So routed units. You have one right there. So we will take a shot at rallying him. He is a green. So, but Sedgwick is with him, so I get a -1. He rolled a 2, so he's no longer routed, so that was good. We'll put that there. And we have a routed on the other end, back there where Seymour from Meade's division got shoved off in the Confederate phase, the Confederate turn of turn 2. So let's roll that. We got a 4. He is also no longer routed because he was a black morale. And looking for other routed units, I do not see any. So that is the end of the rally phase. We do need to remove the fired markers. I'll do that off camera. And that will be that. All right, so we go to the Confederate command phase. So looking at the Confederate layout here, I think we're all good. I'm looking around. I don't really see anyone. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's fine. Don't really see anyone that's really far from their leaders. I have done my best to keep them together. You want to keep your unit integrity intact, or cohesiveness, I guess. So Lawton is here, and those are his men right there. You've got J.R. Jones here with his men right here, kind of. Stewart's down here with his cavalry. The only one who's missing is Hampton, who's over here with Lee, so he's good. Then you've got R.H. Anderson, We got D.R. Jones. We've got, well, D.R. Jones, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's fine. Walker's fine. McLaws is fine. G.B. Anderson is fine. D.H. Hill's fine. I mean, it looks like not G.B. Anderson. I'm sorry. Hill is fine. And yeah, everybody's fine on the Confederate side. So then we would go to offensive artillery fire. So what we'll do here is we're going to have these 3 artillery units here that we used to attack before. We're going to have them attack again. We had them attack during the defensive fire phase. So we're going to have them attack here, preliminary. 28, which of course gets halved to 14. They're going to attack Gorman. So we'll do that right now. It's a 3. So 14 and a 3 is a morale check. So we'll check Gorman here. It's a 3, so he's fine. Now we have to mark those 3 guys as being fired. Fired. You're fired. Fired. All right. I'll be honest, I'm kind of inclined to not use my other artillery right now and save them for support during counterattacks that I plan on trying to make here for the Confederates. I see a couple places where I could maybe, I'm thinking right along here, although that won't work. So let's do these guys who are 8 will attack Kimball here. And because I haven't moved these units yet, and I was going to try to move Kemper here and G.T. Anderson here, that way we'd be able to put a 3-sided attack on Kimball. But we're going to hit Kimball first here with these 2, which gives us a strength of 8, which gets reduced to a 4, so they're in that far left column. A 4 in that column means nothing, so they also get marked with fired. The reason being, okay, because of the way the rules work, if Kemper's here, Anderson's here, they're going to be firing over them at Kimball, and you can't do that when they're adjacent. So, therefore, you had to use it during the offensive artillery phase. Now, over here, we still have McLaws. I need to limber this guy and move him. He needs to be up here on the ridge, and I also need to move these guys up because I can put 2 units here. Right? That's artillery. But I can move Manning here, and I can move Ransom here, and then I can attack Harland from 3 adjacent hexes and get that +1. So that was an oversight on my part. I also have McLaws over here. I'm probably going to swing. Well, I like them where they are because when we reach turn 5, they're going to have Union forces coming in through these hexes. So kind of like having them right where they are. But we are moving on to the movement phase. So I'm just going to do this off camera again to save time because the video is getting long. And we'll probably stop here at the end of turn 3. So let's, I'm going to move off camera. So I'm going to pause here, start moving my men, and we'll resume here momentarily. Okay, quick recap. I haven't decided what to do with Anderson yet. So I'm just kind of keeping them here. They're under Longstreet. Longstreet sector basically runs from the edge of the sunken road to the southern map edge. And Jackson has the northern half. So I want to keep them kind of in this area. And maybe if, because if we look here at D.R. Jones, his forces are a little shaky. They don't have a ton of they don't really have any big units except for Walker, who's down to 12. I mean, 6, 6, 3, 8, and 5. So these guys are relatively small and not overly powerful either. But if these guys take a whooping, we can move them out and move these guys up. Is kind of what I'm thinking about. We want to keep pressure, so I'm applying pressure now on the Confederate side. We've kind of set up an attack here. We've set up an attack here. We've set up an attack here. And we have an attack set up here. We have an attack set up here. We have the cavalry under Stuart. I moved Hampton. He was all the way over here, but we could use column movement. He literally just barely got to this hex here because of the road. The road passes through it. That enabled him to reach this hex. So we've got Hoffman in a pickle here. You know, of course, there will be defensive fire, and that may move them back. But as you can see, we've set up attacks up here as well, because it's time to try and push, right? Because the Union didn't make like what it did historically, which was kind of hit the left wing of Lee's army. Instead, I pushed across the creek here in the middle to try and put pressure on the entire army instead of trying to concentrate on, you got an easy crossing up that way to the east. We've got Pleasanton's cavalry here, but again, because of that 2 activation limit, it's really hard from the Union standpoint to really make a big push. If you were allowed to activate everyone, you could really set up a steamroller, because the Union does have numerical supremacy here. They do have the larger army, and so let's see. I mean, we're going to go on to the combat phase, which means defensive fire first. So I'll work left to right here, and so we're going to start over here. So we've got down here, we've got Hoffman basically, he's got 4 Confederate units around him now. And maybe what we'll do is he'll attack Pelham, which is the artillery unit. So he's going to fire at the artillery unit, and he's got a firepower of 8. There's no defensive terrain there. So let's do that and see if we can do anything good here. We got a 1, which is nothing in that column. Okay, so that one's taken care of. Now we'll come up here. We've got Meade's artillery, who's a 6, and McGilton here, who's a 10. So we'll do 16, and we will attack this guy right here, which is Douglas. He's already taken a couple of step losses, and he gets an 8. So an 8, so this becomes, they're adjacent, so that actually gets doubled. I think. Or maybe not. Maybe it's regular. I need to clarify. This X2 makes me think it's ×2, but this says half strength, and that says 1. So that's confusing to me. I'm going to say it's regular strength at adjacent limit, because why would it go from 2 to like half with just 1 more hex? I mean, I guess it could, but I'll confirm that. But you can see that they're at least going to be a 16. Actually, that's a mistake I've been making all along. I always assumed that they could attack, but they can't. So that's also going to affect this one down here, because I could have probably put Hampton here and left Pelham back here, but too late now. So we don't have the 3 adjacents anymore. See, I always thought that if you didn't fire in the offensive artillery phase, you could fire during the attacking phase, but I guess not. So, although this is defensive fire. Defensive fire is okay, actually, now that I think about it. Upon further review, yes, it says artillery and infantry can combine on defensive fire. So we're going to go with 16. I know it says ×2 on here. I'm unsure. I'm unclear on that. Someone can comment and say if this has been clarified somewhere, because I haven't dug deep. I am using the rules as of this game, which was 1.3. I know we're at 1.4 now, so you know what I'm saying. It's 1.3b, so it should be close to 1.4, but it's probably not identical. Anyway, 16 attacking Douglas, that's right. So 16 is that 4th column from the left, so a 3 or up would be a good roll. And it's a 3, so that's a morale check. So not great. Douglas is a black, so he's got a 7, but he also has Lawton with him. We'll give him a -1. It's a 4, so that was no effect at all. And that takes care of those guys. Now, we do have more artillery. We have Doubleday's Big 12 there. And I think, yeah, so we can do this. well, we can't because of the adjacent, but we can attack this guy. So we'll have this, what is that, 18? 16. 16 attack there. So again, that's going to be in the same column we just used. We'll attack Walker. Got a 4. He's in Forest as well. So that would be -2 to the die roll, which becomes a 2. So that's going to also be nothing. And so we'll move on now. And we'll come in this direction. We want to do something here with Gorman. We'll have Gorman and Dana fire together against Ripley. So that's a 38, so they're in that last column. There is no good terrain for them there. It's an 8. That's a big number. So an 8 is going to be 3 steps and a retreat. So 3 steps will knock them down to a 9. 9 is on this one. All right, and they have to retreat in to the south, basically. So they'll go 1, 2, and I guess here would be okay. We'll just put them there. But that blows a hole in their attack there. So that's from a. Now we have to do the morale check. They are a black, and they pass. Okay, so that was good for the Union. Now over here we've got Brooke and Meager. They will attack GB Anderson. So we want to combine our power here as much as possible. So that's a 29, which is the second from the left column. They rolled another 8, so that's also going to be a good roll. It's also a 3 and a retreat. So we were attacking him. He's going to get knocked down to an 8, which I have to grab a new counter for. So he's an 8, and he was here. He has to retreat towards his leader. And his leader is Hill, who's here. So he was here. He's probably going to go 1, 2. We'll put him here. We'll say he's retreating in this direction because he's retreating towards Lee, who's really his leader right there. So that opens up a hole there. Defensive fire cannot advance. So this is a sunken road hex. We can't move into it, although we will be able to because their movement phase is over and they can't move. That also blows up their planned attack here, although we do have Hood's artillery who can combine. Actually, they can't. But Hood's artillery can't fire an offensive fire, so they're a moot point right now. That's Caldwell. So yeah, they got nothing, and this is big for the Union. The artillery can hold Brooke, but we've got Meager here who can move into this hex, and then Caldwell can shift here, and we would be able to attack the next hex in the sunken road. So we move on. More defensive fire. We'll take Kimball and Morris. They'll attack Walker. It's a 18 and a 20. That's 38. So we are again in that last column. Although it's tempting to split that. Let's do that. Let's have Kimball attack GT Anderson. So he's an 18. We'll do that first. Got a 5, and in that column, a 5 is a 1. So they get reduced by 1 to a 5. And I'll have to grab a counter for that, but I'll do that in a moment. Let's do the morale check for Anderson. It's a 7, so he does pass. So he's now a 5. Let me grab that. Now we've got a 20 here attacking Walker, and 20. So let's see what we get. That's a 1, which is not in 20 is actually nothing. So no damage, no harm, no foul there. And what else do we have here? Looking over, we've got this guy right here, of course, Harland, who is a 16 now because he took a loss. And I need to adjust the Union casualties here. They took a pair of 3s, so that would be, 6 more? 5, 6, and then 1. So they're at 21 now, so that's pretty decent. Okay, so we're going to have him attack. He is, as I said, a 16. He's going to attack, well, we can bypass him now and just attack one of these guys. Let's attack Manning, who's, you know, fairly big. Here. Yeah, they're both black morale. So it's a 5 and a 16. 5 is a 1-step loss. And of course, the much obliged needed morale check rolled a 6, so that's good as well. So Manning now becomes a 21. So we'll take this, and he's now a 21. That's another casualty applied by the Union. Okay. That is their last attack. Well, we could fire artillery, I guess. We could attack Manning with... We could attack Drayton. Yeah, he's got clear line there. 6, 12, 16. These three. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus him. So that's 24, which gets halved to 12. It's not worth it. Actually, it is. Yeah. So we're going to be in the 9 to 12 column here, attacking Drayton. And a 3. So in that column, a 3 is a morale check. So he is a black. And it's a 4, so he's good. So these guys are done. That completes the Union's fire attacks, and we'll move on to offensive combat here. Okay, I'm going to leave it wide only because it's, you know, this way you can see the whole thing. We've got a lot going on. I could zoom in into various things, but I think you have a feel for what's going on right now. So since we started on the left, we'll start on the right. We've got 16, 21, 42 attacking this guy right here, who is a 16 himself. He does have Rodman with him, so we're going to roll. We're on the big last column there. He gets no bonus. A 10. So not only is this going to be a 4-step loss plus a retreat, it's also going to be a casualty check for Rodman. This could be massive for the Confederates. So let's see. 4 for him takes him from a 16 down to a 12, and he has to retreat. So he's got to go back across the bridge to there. We'll move Manning up, and now we do the morale check, and he's a black, and he rolls an 8, but Rodman's with him, so that makes it a 7. So they squeak by on that. Now we do the casualty check, and if that roll of an 8 came up on the casualty check, Rodman would be killed. Oh, it's a 9. Rodman has been killed. So when that happens, you flip it over to a replacement like this. And yeah, that's big. That is pretty big. So that's a good win there for the Confederates. So the Burnside Bridge was a tough part of this battle, and it is proving to be so here as well. Now we'll take this here. We've got a nice 4-arc thing here to attack Weber. So it's 11, 17, 31. Weber is in open terrain, and he's green morale. So 31, not quite the last column. It's the next one over. It's a 3, not a great roll. And that is a 1-step loss. So that's not too bad for Weber, although he now has to take a morale check as well. And he fails it. So he's going to rout. Okay. So at 17 is going to be a 16. So we'll put this on here, and he has to rout, which is 3 hexes. So he will go 1, 2, 3. Stop right there. Get himself a routed marker. And now we can move somebody up. I guess we'll move Drayton in there. All right. And next we have Anderson. He will pass. Well, you know what? Why not? What the hell, right? You can't take a loss here. It's only a 5. He's in the second column. He rolls a 5, which is a morale check. So not too bad. Kimball's black. 7 or less. He's good. All right, moving along. The artillery cannot attack. Okay, so he can't attack Brook. So we blew up, the Union that is, blew up their planned attack here by making G.B. Anderson skedaddle. So there's nothing going on here. We move on to here. So we got a 17 and a 19, a 36 attacking Gorman, who is not in good terrain. It's a 1, which is a 1 as well. So Gorman will get knocked down to a 17. So we'll put this under here. We get another 17. That is, well, let's see. 1. Yeah, okay, so the Confederates are improving as well in their casualties inflicted here. Now, let's see. That's done. Nothing here. Okay, here we have 21, and we'll attack the artillery, which is in forest. So we're going to get a -2 die roll modifier. But we'll take the chance. So 21 is a decent column. It's a 6, which gets reduced to a 4. And that is a 1-step loss. So he will become a 5. Oops, banged the table with my leg. So he's a 5, and he has to take a morale check. He is black. So we'll roll that. It's a 9. He failed, which means he routes. He does have Meade with him. 1, 2, 3. He'll go here. And we'll slap a routed on him. Okay, and they can move up. So they will, because that's good defensive terrain at least. And now they can move somebody in here and be right there for... we can also... Well, the Union can't really do anything to plug this hole. So we could actually move this artillery in. But actually, they can fire at him over the through here because the hex side is clear. Anyway, I digress. Let's do our cavalry attack down here, which I think is the last one we're doing. So we have Fitz-Lee, who's an 18. And Munford is a 6, and Hampton is an 18. So you got 36, and 6 is 42. So and Hoffman's not in good terrain, so he gets a 6, and a 6 in that column is a 2-step loss and a retreat. He's going to get knocked down to a 6, and he has to retreat kind of towards the north. So he'll go 1. Actually, that's going to be an added step loss because he can't go anywhere that's not in a... Oh, and it was a +1. So that 6 becomes 7, which makes it 3. So he takes 3, which is going to become 4 because he can't retreat here because he's in the Zoc here, and he can't retreat here because he's in the Zoc there. So either way, he's going to lose 1. So we're going to move him here. So now he's at a 4-step loss. 5, I mean, that's 1, 2, 3. So he's going to be a 4, which is really low. And put that in here. So that's 4 casualties inflicted there. That's a big aid to the Confederate cause. So they'll move their casualty marker up to that. They have 14 now. And we have to do the morale check. He's black. And he rolled a 7. So he squeaks by on the morale check. But yeah, that was big. So let's move. We'll move Fitz-Lee in here. And let's keep Jeb with Munford for now. All right. So that ends the combat. Now we go to the rally phase. And I don't think the Confederates have any routed units. We do have some Union ones, but they can't take care of that till their turn. So that ends the turn. We go to turn 4, but I'm going to stop the video here because it's gotten quite long. So that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have comments, corrections, which I'm sure there will be some, questions, etc., put them up in the old comment section, and I will do my best to reply. Appreciate the feedback always. And I appreciate you guys watching, so thank you for watching. Please consider liking, sharing, and or subscribing if you would. That would be outstanding and much appreciated. But even if you don't do any of those things, hopefully you'll come back and check out something down the road. That does it for this one. I'm Joe. This is the Hexed Encounter channel. And until next time, as always, happy gaming.